podcast like this. Who gon' bring it to the table? Boss talk. Who your girlfriend favorite? Boss talk. We gon' do it how you want it. Boss talk. Check it. It's the Unique Host. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
Nothing, you know, my dad walk on.
Man, hey, man, we down here in New Orleans, man. They done let us in, man. It took us a minute, but we here now, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the second time down here.
Yes, sir.
Man, every time, man, we get a jewel. God bless us with a jewel, man. This guy don't even normally come out. This will be really his third interview from what everybody. They done checked me before I got him here. They say, hey, man, this dude don't come out.
You don't do interviews.
You don't be messing around with no interviews and nothing like that. You know, because it's got to be on the up and up. Right. I'm from the old school too, so I definitely respect it, man. Big BOZ is in the building.
And we thank you for it.
We definitely thank you, man. So thank you for pulling up.
Yeah, man, I get your heard from court. You know,
big court.
Y'all was solid, and you know, I do things for people that are really about helping others, you know, and perpetuating our stance as black people in the community and going forward, you know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, y'all that kind of show.
Thank you.
And one thing I always say, everybody's life, no matter who you think you are, some people think I don't have a story, but our lives is not our own. It's for other people. So the testimony that you go through can help someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I always tell people, now we have podcasts, we have a platform where anybody can talk and everybody can talk. Because, you know, growing up, you saw people on TV, you're like, oh, I'm never going to be that person. Who's going to hear my voice? Yeah. Even if you talk in your community, there's only a couple of people might hear. Now you have the opportunity that millions of people all around the world can actually hear your testimony and can help somebody, because we're in a state where people go through depression, people kill themselves. You just had Twitch committed suicide the other day. People are suffering in silence, but because of you telling your testimony of your down times and how you overcame it, where it could be somebody who watching this show who's going through something exactly what you already went through and overcame and think that they can't overcome it. They have no other option but doing this, like something crazy. But by hearing your testimony, you just saved somebody's life.
True.
You know what I mean? So that's what I love.
It's hard. So we're going to start off like we always start off. She's going to want to know about you and just like your upcoming.
I know you're born and raised New Orleans?
Born and raised. I've always been here. I've had houses in several different states, Miami, Pittsburgh, Texas. I've lived in Oklahoma, several different cities all over the United States, and
but you still live here,
But I've always maintained a residence in New Orleans because this is my home.
Yeah, I was about to say.
There's something about this New Orleans, and if y'all check the facts, you'll see that New Orleans longitudinally and latitudinally has the same longitude and latitude as Africa.
Really?
Wow. Yes.
I never knew that.
Yes, we are part. This is a spiritual town.
It is very.
And they talk about the cultures and things that we represent and that we bring to people. That's why people are drawn here. You know, it's a strong spiritual presence. And like the stuff that we do here, they don't do anywhere else in the country.
No. Explain your culture, because when I think about, you know, y'all have something called second line and like even like the Mardi Gras Indians and stuff like that. Everybody I know, because I'm from Jamaica, and you know, we do carnivals and stuff like that. And since I've been in Texas, everybody, when New Orleans have Mardi Gras, like there's no other Mardi Gras like it. Everybody flock to New Orleans. But I know y'all do not only Mardi Gras, y'all do other things just the same, but it has meanings to it.
Yeah, so first of all, second lines, okay? This is a celebration of life, what we do for people that die. And they call it a second line is because it's not the first. The first is the people's families, right? Like if you die or something, first it would be your husband or your wife or your kids. So that make you first in a line of people that's going to celebrate his life. Now, the second line is all of the friends and the people that knew that person and that loved that person and wanted to second line to celebrate their life. So it comes out in dance, comes out in music, all of our cultural expressions, you know, that come from Africa, Jamaica, all of the islands, because a lot of people here in this United States also the culture come from the islands, Cuba, you know, Trinidad, different places like that. That's where the carnival and stuff come in.
And the Creole.
Right, and the second line is more just the people that want to celebrate that life through music and dance.
So when does that happen? Like, say somebody passed away, the second line come like right after that, or it comes actually, once a year,
it's actually part of the funeral procession.
Oh, it is.
So when you have the funeral, after you in the church and they're praying over the body, everybody speaks, then the casket comes out. And then they may take the casket and put it in a drawn carriage, drawn by horses. And they got glass all around it where you can see the casket. And, and then behind that is you'll have first the family.
Okay.
And then second
line
becomes the bands.
Okay.
And all the people that want to dance.
Y'all have a big celebration.
People, yeah. We have groups. We have groups in New Orleans that are all second line clubs. They're social pleasure clubs. They do things for the community.
And they dress up.
Yeah, they all dress
in costumes
up.
and stuff.
They get clean. It's more like it's more like suits. You know, they do that in suits and hats and bags.
But it's colorful.
I mean? Oh yeah. And the Ladybug Jumpers, one of the biggest groups.
I've heard of them.
That's Soldier Slim Mom. Them founded that club and got it together. Then you got the group downtown, one of the biggest groups, 6th Ward. The Sidewalk Steppers. Mm-hmm. They are one of the biggest groups. And you got Sudan. You got so many different groups in town that's culturally linked, to that. And they also dance for second lines, but they have parades every year. A certain time of the year, all of them come out and they parade.
Right, I've heard of that too.
And they dance in the street, man. And it's some bad shit if you see it, because it's all rhythmic and it's all spontaneous.
And that's all the locals come out and do it, because this is not a tourist attraction thing. This is mainly
this is a cultural
thing.
This is to preserve our culture. This is what we do. Like, you have some tribes in the Amazon and shit that have been doing the same thing for 100, 200 years because it was passed down through their ancestors and generations, and this is how this is for us. We've been doing this since New Orleans been established. It's just always been here. So for hundreds of years, this has went on.
And what is the Mardi Gras Indians?
The Indians, now this is a trip too, because as you know, we were all slaves in this country.
Correct.
All right, at the time we were brought here for labor force and stuff like that. And the blacks, the Indians were already here. So when the Indians were here, they native of this land. So when they come into this country, the blacks were being enslaved. The Indians were here. The ones that they hadn't killed off yet, through smallpox and poison blankets and all that shit, like they celebrate Thanksgiving for how they killed the Indians off, they were out further into the land because it was undiscovered. A lot of parts of the land, people had been living here, but the indigenous people were here. The people that came over, that bought the slaves, they hadn't been far out into the land. So now you got slaves that are escaping, that are escaping from, the plantations and escaping from the whatchamacallit of the masters. They're escaping the plantation, they're escaping the yoke of the masters, and they just running out, but they're in a foreign land that they don't know nothing about.
Wow.
So what they would do is they would run into the Indians, and the Indians would have their customs and treaties and all that, but they were a peaceable people. So when they saw these runaway slaves, they were like, well, where are these people coming from? So they started taking the blacks in and making them part of their tribe and indoctrinating them, and so they had been being oppressed. And they see that the same people trying to kill them. So they started bringing blacks in, teaching them their customs, letting them become part of their tribes, marrying into them. And so now, for us down here that this happened to, we remember that. So now we pay tribute to all of those Indian tribes and all of those people that took us in. So that's why we mask Indian now. You see black people in Indian gear. So that's what masking Indian is about.
That is so dope.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, because when I think about New Orleans and I see all the things that y'all, because when you think about Africa, Africans love to do a lot of dance rituals and stuff like that.
Do a lot of masking.
And maskings and stuff like that. And then y'all are doing that, and hardly nowhere else does something like that on a regular basis. They do like their carnival once a year or something like that, but that's about it. Yeah. But the way how you hold on to your culture and you pass this lesson from generation to generation. It's not just, I don't ever see it ever getting lost because it's been doing it for decades.
Right. It's been doing it for hundreds of years. That's what it's been doing it for.
Right.
It's the spiritual connection. It's more. I told you it's a very spiritual place.
Yeah.
If you want to connect with your spirit and your ancestors and everything, this is the place to do it.
But they always talk about New Orleans. They into the voodoo and all of that. That's one thing they always talk about.
Well, that's because they want to put a bad stigmatism on something. Just the powers that be. If I want to discredit you, I say you anti-Semitic, or I say you something bad about you. Okay, so now there's discarding a bad light on you. But people don't even take time to really find out what voodoo is and what it's considered. It's a ritual. It was a spiritual ritual. It come from Cuba. It's just religious rituals and things that they do to become closer to. But a lot of the other religions also use some of the things that are in voodoo, but they don't tell you about that. They won't tell you about that because they don't want you to know that much about themselves and their religions, and they
call it something else.
And they don't want you to know how powerful it is. They don't want you to know or experience the beauty of it. They just want you to be afraid, stay away from it. You know what I'm saying?
In Jamaica, they call it obia. Yeah. That's what they call it.
I'm gonna bring you to back. I want to go to Callio, where you came up as a young man, as a kid. How was that? I'm gonna start riding that wave. Like, how was it? Like, you hear the stories. I heard the first time I heard about it was No Limit. Callio don't give ever about a hoe, and I'm like, but I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm right there on the borderline of Texas and Louisiana, 5 miles. But y'all lit me up. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about it.
It's another thing culturally, but then at the time you got to think, now when I grew up, and you got to take things into the time period in which they were, and what was going on. I'm growing up in the 70s. I'm born in the 60s. So I'm a young man.
Yeah.
But my project, the Callio project, was known for having the best drugs in the city.
Yeah.
Heroin, cocaine, whatever you want, you can come back there and get it. A lot of my heroes, like on Ghetto Heroes that P wrote about, we growing up and we seeing these guys that's profiteering off of this and making money, and they got the big cars, you know how it is, and the women and all of that. So as a kid, you see that. You don't see the doctors, the lawyers. You don't see all of these I didn't even know you could be an actor and none of that shit when I was a kid. And I went to private school all my life. I went St.
Really?
Yeah, I went
and you never saw that?
Never saw that. Never saw nothing but was in my neighborhood. No matter what you take and teach you in school, what you see every day going to impact you more than what you reading in the book, because this is real to you.
And that's the one thing I've always asked people who sit right here, because being a parent, you want to know how to steer your child in the right way.
Right.
What affects them from being the doctor, the lawyer, compared to you're going to be on the street being a drug dealer, because I've met so many people who was a drug dealer but raised in a great household, mom and dad, have money and everything, but the streets still call them. But I also met that person who was raised by that one single parent, the mom who working 3-4 jobs and not there to guide the child, and their uncle, grandparent, whatever is already on the streets, and they see that and they glamorize it because they want that sneaker every day, the new pair, you know what I mean? So that's why they end up out there. And it's not always that I'm going to make money for my family. They just like the flashy life.
But for us, it was more of being indoctrinated, because all of these older guys that's making this money is looking for the younger guys that's coming up.
Recruiting.
The dudes that can stand on their own, that can go out there and do what they need to do to turn this dollar over with nobody taking nothing from them or jacking them and shit like that. So as a youth, I'm looking at my neighbors and the people around me, and I had some, very affluent drug dealers that live across the street from me and around me. And as I grew up, they started liking me. So that means that now, when you like them, here, take this, go do this, this costs that much, this, do this here, take this ounce, go out here and do that. Now this happened to me when I'm 12, 13 years old.
And you weren't educated in your house, because people always say it starts in your house. So you weren't told in your house not to do this or not to do that.
What do that mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm street poison. I'm ghetto glorified because of what I'm seeing. You can tell me whatever you want to, but this motherfucker right here giving me this amount money, and I can go do this with it, and I can go do that with it. All that shit you talking about ain't giving me nothing. It ain't helping me do nothing.
Right.
So now I see this helping me, so shit. And then they grooming me. You know what I mean? I'm a kid. I don't know. They grooming me. They taking me in. You know, I'm 6th grade. I'm smoking weed.
Right.
I'm smoking weed. Now in 7th grade, I'm
in
selling
private
weed.
school.
Yeah, I'm selling weed. I'll go from smoking weed to selling weeds. By the time I get to 9th grade, I'm full-fledged dope dealer. You know what I mean? I'm going to private school, tie on every day, pistol on me. You know what I'm saying? And about at least $200-300 worth of puffers, because I done set up all night and roll weed and got these $2 joints that we would sell. So I would go to school every day, sell those, come home. You know,
Were you the oldest child?
No, I was the youngest.
Really?
Only boy, youngest child. My youngest sister was 12 years older than me, 10 years older than me.
None of them ever like, cause they, you know, siblings always know what you up to. When mom and daddy don't know what you up to, siblings normally know. They didn't know?
Yeah, I have a clue, because they were all grown. I told you they were 10, 12 years old.
I know, they didn't care about looking back.
Well, it's not cared. They had their own lives and houses and shit. When I'm 12 years old, that means they 22. 22,
mm-hmm.
You know, they grown, they gone. They got their own houses. They didn't had families. They got kids and all kind of shit. So my mom's older. She's working, you know, always working, trying to provide and keep a place for us.
Where was your dad?
My dad died when I was 4.
When you was 4. So did you have any other male role models in your life?
Yeah, all these dope dealers I'm telling you about.
Just them. A positive role model in your life?
Well, they were positive at the time. I'm not saying that they were negative. I think that everything I did and went through in life was positive for me. I don't look at things in no sense.
Okay.
No, everything in life is good, no matter what you go through. You know, I thought going to prison was the worst thing ever happened to me. Turned out it was the best thing. You know, it's all perspective.
I hear that a lot. Because he always talked about...
I come back in at the right time.
He always talk about being in the streets helped him to know how to deal with a large amount of money.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have known how
to deal with it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So what did I miss? Because, you know, I had to step up. Shout out to, I told them Marvin, them boys in Texas, man, they interviewing, I'm out of town, they in my store, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on down there, man. Okay. But no, man, the music thing, when I come back in, like that's how only way I know, you know, like King George, I don't know who that is, but when I would listen to the music, I would hear these different things, and I know you guys, man, I know y'all did a lot of work, and it was a time for me when the South really wasn't getting no praise.
Yeah, no,
you had down South hustlers and all those different cassettes, but
never was.
We was in a no man land. Like when we took hold of that music during that time for me, it was like basically you was stepping out onto something to where others wasn't even looking at it that way.
You know, they looked at us like country boys. You know, you down from the South, they figure you're a country boy, but they don't know that all of their parents, like Snoop, my dad from Mississippi, like everybody that I can name that's been prominent in California, New York, or whatever, all y'all people come from down South. Because this is where they did. This is where they brought black people. They brought us here to work farms, to slave, to pick cotton, to do sugar cane and all of that. So all your ancestors coming from down South. But then once you get in New York, a generation or two,
you think you're better than?
Yeah, all them country boys, look at them. They don't know what they're doing. They ride around them big old cars with their Vogues on them and the tires and shit that country is, you know. They like more on some metropolitan shit because now they up in New York and different places. And you know, these places are like the fashion LA, you know, New York. They got access to other things and now they starting to see better shit. So they looking like all them country dudes down there. They don't know what they're doing.
And it's so crazy that you said that because when you think back, even when Master P and all y'all was wearing Versace, they still was looking at y'all dressing and calling it country, but then you had Tupac and Biggie and all of them was still wearing Versace and they weren't looking at them at that way.
Yeah.
Why? Y'all wearing the same exact thing, so why were they?
Demographics, and you got to look at the people that were saying we were country, were the people that were from up there, because they looking at the demographics of it and they're going to say we country, but they not. Because they want to make themselves, you know how people self-elevate, you know what I mean? But our message is what made No Limit what it was. It was our message and what we actually were doing. Like I can tell you anything, but when you see me doing that shit, you're like, that motherfucker know what he doing.
Man,
because it's happening.
When you think about you guys, like when I hear the story about Master P getting the money from his grandpa. He took some money and went to L.A. or whatever and started a record store or something.
This
is what we hear in the.
Well, that's cool.
But is this? I mean, did you know him during the time before he left here? Is what I'm asking.
I've been knowing P all my life. That's how we got together to do everything. But right now I'm building a website, and what I'm doing now is going to be inclusive, and it's going to be for people, and it's going to be a lot of what our roles really were and what really happened during our time coming up.
That'd be hard.
And
what's the name of the website?
It's going to be Big BOZ. It's going to be Big BOZ No Limit fanclub.com.
That's hard.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting that together now, and it's going to be helping too. Also, like guys, I remember coming home from the pen, like nowhere to go, nothing to do, no direction.
You don't know.
And we're going to do a special program to help guys coming home, help them get their credit together, help them learn how to
deal with it,
exist out in the world, how to open businesses, how to get yourself substantiated in another kind of life. Because I have to say this, and this is very important, and I feel bad and not speaking out as much. Sometimes it messes with me in different ways, because I see these kids now and what they've done to the game. Like when me and you grew up and we were in the game, we was hustling, man, it was honor, it was respect between different factions. Certain things you didn't did. Snitching was looked down real bad. You couldn't tell on people and then come home and run around like you because what you're doing when you do those things is you killing it. You killing that particular entity. That was a way for us to get out from up under poverty and then utilize the money, just like every other Fortune 500 company in America. You name them, I could tell you where they started from, and I could tell you what illicit acts they were committing, at that particular point. But they took that money and then they springboarded into something good, just like us with No Limit. You take your ill-gotten gains and then you spring into something that's going to perpetuate it. But you cannot consistently do the things that you're doing in the game and kill it, and then you have nothing to go to. Like these young cats don't even know they're killing their opportunity to be able to generate funds to try to go into something legitimate and change their life. They killing the whole game. Like that underworld, the game no more. Everybody telling, everybody, it's just so watered down. You know what I mean? Nobody stand on nothing no more. Everybody envious and jealous and wanting to save themselves and all that. It's like that kind of shit was unheard of.
No loyalty.
Yeah, it's just like, because when you come home, what you gonna do? Like for me, when I grew up, this is how they taught me. It's like, dude, something happened to you, take your lick, ride. You come home, we got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you back together, help you get yourself on. I'm gonna sing you something while you're in there. Things like that. But all of that done went sideways. Everybody now is worried about themselves, and it is so selfish. And now what you've done, though, and you don't understand it, is that you killing this venue. You killing this thing that we had that was ours. It was an underground thing, but I don't give a fuck. That's what they gave us. So if a motherfucker keep you in slavery for 400 years and then cut you loose one day and say, okay, we even start from there, is that really even?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to read and write, because the laws you had said if I read or write, you could kill me. So now you telling me this even though. So when people talk about, oh, you ain't supposed to do this and that, I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of get it like you live, because that's what everybody else in this country done did. And if you could take that and then turn that into something good and productive for you and your family, hey, I ain't got no problem.
Let me ask you this. You went down, I interviewed Mac last time I was down here, but when you caught your charge, or when you went to the feds, was it here in it wasn't here in New Orleans?
It was 1985. I was in Oklahoma. I was getting in trouble in New Orleans. I had been through a few things, I'm hustling and shit like that. And I decided to go to an avionics school.
Okay.
So I went to Oklahoma, but it's funny.
What part?
Tulsa.
I've been up there a lot of times. I can tell you some stories about up there.
I heard it's racist.
It is. That's where Black Wall Street was.
Yeah.
It's so racist that we had the biggest black mecca, millionaires, people. We had our own everything because it was segregation. So now all our money stayed in with the circle. So what they did up there was they built a Black Wall Street. They had all kind of businesses, doctors, lawyers, accountants, anything you could think of, all black. And they built a section of town. And they played within each other's. Doctors and everything, hospitals, the whole nine. So they built up this big black mecca. And the people in Oklahoma, the white powers that be, they took airplanes, flew over it with dynamite, and started bombing.
Man.
Just start bombing the people, start killing them. And these are the stories they don't tell you, they don't talk about.
Yeah.
And they don't tell you, and that's how they destroyed the Black Wall Street. It was one of the most, and this way back in the day. You'll be amazed.
Why have nobody else ever tried to create another Black Wall Street in another city or anything like that?
Well, what happened after that, after desegregation, it became harder to do because now Mr. Charlie let you come to his house and his water better, his ice colder. It's like now, okay, well, I can get in this place that I couldn't get into before. So now I can get into this white restaurant or this white hotel where they wouldn't let me go. So now I'm going to go over there. But now you're bringing your money over there. They don't really want you anyway. But now you're bringing your money there. See, if you build something where your money circulates within your own community, and that's what I tell them. That's the same thing Jewish people do. They create things and they deal with each other and they build communities and they share money with each other. They got somebody that can do everything, and that's what we have to do as a people. You look for people, but now you could do it in a way now where you just deal with people that are reputable, that are of your ilk, and you want to spend your money, you spend it with them.
Yeah.
It's not no sense in spending it with somebody else. If they can do a great job just as good as anybody else, you give them that opportunity.
When you was up there, and do you think that because you were up there, because you hear a lot about the justice system in New Orleans since I've been coming down here. I just talked to two guys yesterday that did 28 years and one gave time back and all this different stuff. Do you feel like in Oklahoma it would, the same situation that you dealt with down there, if you dealt with it here, would it have been handled the same, or do you feel like it's a better break?
Well, Oklahoma is a Bible belt, man.
Yeah, we heard that from Matola.
But New Orleans is no different. It's all, the society always set up to imprison us, make us slaves again, because that's what you are when you're in prison. You're slave. Pay your slave labor, you do all kinds of work in factories, all this type of shit. And now it's privatized. All prisons are privatized. So the incentive to do it, I think it would have been the same. Yeah, I don't think it would have been no different. It was my first offense. I was facing 0 to 20. That's what they told me. I got 8.
Wow.
So hey, I was okay.
So when you were in private school, and we were talking earlier that you became a full-blown drug dealer in school. When after that, did you graduate anyway? Did you graduate school?
Yeah, I went on to I graduated avionics school also.
Oh, you did that too? Oh, yeah. Wow. So you can fly and everything.
Yeah, my academic.
You sure?
Yeah, my academic acumen has always been there. I learned to read, I learned to write, I learned all the fundamental principles of life, and I also learned to apply myself. Being in the street, now my real education became when I was in prison. I learned more in prison about life and living
than out here,
than in the streets. And I had already had a foundation that was given to me by the neighborhood guys, right? The big dope dealers in the neighborhood, because like I say, they had a code. And no matter what it is, if you don't play by rules in anything, if you have nothing to govern what you do and don't do, then you're gonna have chaos. You have to have a set of rules to govern whatever you're doing, no matter what it is, selling dope or whatever. If you don't play by the certain rules, then you're gonna tear it down. It's going to be torn down, then you're not going to have it anymore. So I had that basic foundation, and then when I went to prison, I'm 19 years old, 18, 19. So now I'm meeting these old guys.
What did you go to prison for?
What
was the charge?
It was a conspiracy charge.
And how many years did you get?
Got 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, he said that earlier.
Yeah. So when did you become a part of No Limit?
Right after, not long after I was back home, he came down to New Orleans and he was talking about the shit he was trying to do and, you know, what he wanted to do as far as that was concerned. And I was like, all right, well, what we need to do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's dope.
Sounds good. What we need to do.
Wow.
So tell me.
I'm going to ask you about, I don't want to miss out because I know I've asked everybody this question. I always ask them and nobody really met, but I heard it. I always go by the music. I would hear Master P say Kevin Miller, rest in peace. Mm-hmm. Did you ever know Kevin Miller?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all grew up back there. They were under me. P was younger than me. Kevin.
Oh, P younger than you?
Yeah, all them younger than me.
So
How much
you
younger?
I'm the oldest.
You look good, man.
How much younger? Because I'm about to say you look young.
I'm 57.
That's hard. So when you think about him, y'all was just growing up kids. He was young. Was he young too? He was younger than you, or older than you,
Who?
Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin was younger than me.
Younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember when he had gotten killed and everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was something that it's just something I always heard in the song. Because
Right.
you would hear, I think about the songs, man.
That happened as I was, by me being so much older and getting hit young, I left to go to Oklahoma when I was 18 to go to avionics school. I finished that, graduated and everything. But at that time, that's when that was going on with Kevin. So at the time I was getting apprehended, going to prison around 87. Like 2 years later after I graduated, then that's when all that was transpiring. So I was back and forth in a way. But while I'm in Oklahoma, I meet a dude in LA, from LA. And he was the plug, right? He didn't know. He was a square, never hustled before, nothing. But
Really?
you know, I've been doing this all my life. So bam, I go to LA with him, and I meet a bunch of guys out there.
Because he knew everybody.
Right, that's in his neighborhood, that's getting it in. So they got all this, and this during the Contra affair, like when all that shit going on. So I kind of got caught up in the Contra. You know that show Snowfall and all that. That's when I got.
So you had interactions with all of them.
Yeah, think about it. This is the time. You know, we interviewed Freeway Ricky Ross,
Right.
and that was during that time period.
So you knew
That had to
him
be.
and everything.
I didn't never know him. I've never known him. I saw his name in my paperwork, but I
saw his name in your paperwork.
Yeah, and I didn't know who he was.
Because all of this is connected some
Why would
way.
his name be in your paperwork though? You just never
Dude,
know.
I'm just telling you, that's what was stated in my paperwork. Fuck, I don't know. I never met him. I know dudes that he knew, like dudes that he knew that I was dealing with. He was dealing with, but I never met him before in my life.
Never
saw
met him,
nothing.
never saw him.
Nothing. So when I'm reading my transcript, and the reason it fucked me up because I'm like, who the fuck is this? And who is that? I ain't never met these people. So I'm telling them like yeah, these dudes.
They said whatever.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
But
I don't
you hear the
fucking know.
stories about how much he was doing in the L.A. inner city of freeway, by the freeway. That's what he told us.
But listen to me.
But you ain't never even met him.
I don't know him.
But you say the dude.
I have nothing against this dude. I know nothing about him whatsoever. I'm just really what happened to me. So fuck.
And they couldn't fight that and get that off your paper or none when you said that.
They telling the story.
They couldn't what?
When you said how he in my paperwork, because I don't know this
any of these
person,
people.
right?
He didn't know a lot of
But you know when it happens, if you talk to anybody, been to jail, they'll see people saying
They throw
did this.
things
They throw
out.
anything
don't know.
in there.
That's what I'm telling you. So I don't even know the validity of it or what or not, but I'm telling you that's what was in there. So when I saw it, it fucked me up. And it stuck with me always because that was before the rap shit and all of that shit.
Right.
So I don't know. This is 1987.
Wow.
And that was before BMF or after? Not after, but during the same time, or
No, that was before.
No, that
it was
was
before
before,
BMF and all of that.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is the late 80s.
Yeah.
All that shit. in the
I don't know the time rate. I just know
I
the
know the
names.
time rate.
He do. I just know the names of the different.
Right.
I think about, like I said, when Kevin Miller was killed, were you in, and I asked this because I'm just trying to understand, you were in Oklahoma or you were locked up? Or where were you at that time?
I think I was locked up.
Okay, and you heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard about it because you believe me, you hear everything when you're locked up.
Yeah.
It's like it gets to you. It might be a little late,
Grapevine.
but it's coming.
Shit, sometime it be before.
Hey, before it happened, wait a minute, watch out now. How you meeting Snoop Dogg for the first time? How was that? Like
Dude, beautiful, man.
You met him during the time when P and Death Row, and they were getting him over to. How did that all go? Cause
man, we were always a fan of rap and music, especially me. I know every lyric from every song we ever did. And all type of shit, I would be singing and shit all day. I was into music at the time. And Snoop also was an artist in which, he had been out before. And I knew him. I loved his music, loved what he did, And he was in L.A. at the time, so we out there doing our deals. And we didn't move to L.A. I'm spending...
You out there?
Monday through Friday, I'm in L.A. I'm home on the weekends. I'm back Monday. That's how we was working around the clock. Because, we putting out albums and shit every
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was work, but it was fun, but it was just, it was just constant grind, just constant grind.
Why you were putting out albums so often?
Well, that's because that's the way we said
it.
Because 1 year you put out 28 albums in 1998. Was that planned?
Yeah, because we knew what the numbers, everything is numbers, right? Wait, so back to Snoop. Let's talk about
let's talk about Snoop. We done jumped off the big dog.
Because he mentioned about albums, that's why.
It's because, I love Snoop.
Yeah.
And I love what he represents. And I love the way that he learns and he absorbs things. And it was hard for him coming from L.A. to come to down south and then embrace everything we had going on at the time. That's a big change. You leaving California, you leaving Dre, you leaving all your base that you done had all your life to go do something that you need to do to better your life. So big ups for him.
Doing it.
For having that kind of mindset though, because that's challenging and it'll make you very afraid, if you succumb to fear. Because what the people gonna say? I'm leaving LA. This is just everything I know. But all the funk going on out there and the shit he getting into. He knew he had to protect his family. And I think that he thought about that, his kids, his wife, and all that. And instead of banging and trying to go back and forth and fight that, because dude had him on paperwork, he couldn't really do this that and that third. So there we go. When we see him, I'm like, damn, that's the dude. Dude, what's up? When I meet him, I'm like, dude, fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? Here, I took my chain off my neck, no limit, bam, put it on his.
Wow.
I said, man, you with us.
But what did Suge say about this? And did y'all already work that out that he would be going with y'all?
No, initially we saw him and we saw the situation he was. We just took charge of it.
Did you ever have conversations with Suge or any else?
P did. P did. No talking.
You don't do no talking. No.
Yeah, because when I watch the movie, Suge come off like you can't take nothing from him. Like he's a big movie. Bad, Yeah,
well,
that's whatever. A movie.
He's like, whatever.
but at the end of the day, like when you look at the legacy and the legend and what you guys accomplished, man, it's crazy. I go back to the time when there wasn't nobody doing independent movies, and About It was a thing. I don't even see how y'all pulled that off. Where did y'all mindset? Y'all were young. You was older, but they were young for that.
Listen, Snoop, Mystical. It would have been UGK and them too, but they.
I got to ask you about that, but I didn't want. I'm from Texas.
What I'm telling you about this, if we see there's an opportunity or someone of our ilk that's being mistreated in some way, and we have a way and an opportunity to put them together with something that makes sense, to make money for both of us, we're going to pursue that avenue.
That's hard, man.
We're going to pursue that avenue because it's there and ain't nobody going to stop me. How you going to stop me?
They ain't going to stop.
And that don't mean, I don't care if you white, you black, or Jew or nothing, because that situation with Snoop was with Suge. We had another situation with Mystical. That was with, that record company he was under. And so we let him know, listen, he coming with us. Went down there, flew down there, went up to the office, knocked on the door, get Barry Wise and set him down. We need to talk.
Wow.
Yeah, Mystical, he about to be with us.
Wow.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Look, this was about to happen. I know you got him on paper, it doesn't matter. He could work in AR for us. You don't have that under there. You don't have to do nothing but feature. We could pay him for featuring. And then he work in our AR department, but we gonna take care of him. He out there, he don't have no money, he being mistreated. The band broke on his ass, and y'all talk about he owe you this, that, and the other. P was like, well, how much he owe you? He was like, oh, bought the lawyer in, put the account in. Oh, he owe us $375,000. P wrote him a check, threw it on the table, said, "There, now y'all straight. Come on, let's go."
Man, that's because he knew it was more to him than what they wasn't doing him right.
Well, he was he was a hell of an artist. It don't take long to see people talent. You know, we in the music. I could tell you when somebody talented or not. You know what I mean? I saw Mr. Go, saw what he doing, PC, and him. He from home, and he needed somewhere to be. Because he was in New Orleans, and we there. So I'm like, dude, what's up with you? What's your situation? And the dude was like, man, I'm hooked up. I'm on this record label. We trying to, Jive Records, this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, okay, we going to handle that. So we just grabbed him, jumped on the plane, flew to New York.
Wow. You brought up UGK a while ago. I remember when Pimp C was dealing with y'all, him and Bun B, and them was some cold songs. Me and KL talked about it, KLC. And that time, did you get to meet Pimp, or did you know him?
Yeah, I've been knowing.
Give me a Pimp story. I'm a big Pimp fan, man. So give me a Pimp story.
I got about Pimp.
Gotta get it.
Pimp and Bun. All right. One of my favorite songs too. We made "Break You Off" Something.
Man, I love that song. Me and KL talked about that, dude. I got excited.
Why is that your favorite song?
So it's my favorite song because of what it says, what it represents, the feeling of it, and the actual way it was put together.
Okay.
Me and Pete jump in the car, bam. We drive, going to Port Arthur. Yeah, we going down. Pimp them in Port Arthur, him and Bun B, they in the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Back then, we got the lease machines. You put the tapes in, all the tracks on it and shit like that. So we get there. We like, man, listen, we trying to make a hit while we hear this, that, and the third. They like, cool, we got something. We got this track or whatever. Bam. Get the track. We put it up. It's bumping. You know, that boom, boom, boom. Got that fucking, southern feel to it and all that, right? So we in the house, though. We don't have no recording booth, no motherfucking nothing, right? Nigga, we take the mattresses off the bed, bring in the bathroom, get in the shower, put the fucking mic in the shower with the fucking mattresses around it to make a booth.
Man,
we made that song in the house with the A- right there recording, and everybody laid their verse right there.
That's hard, man. That's hard.
First right there. When we left there, I said, boy, this is a fucking smash. We played that shit all the way back. Me and Pete drove and pulled all the way back to New Orleans.
You knew it was a hit.
Played that shit the whole time.
Wow, you knew it was a hit, man. It was a hit.
That's why it's one of my favorite songs from how it was made, what we did.
What y'all did.
Like
Man, that's crazy because I know. Go ahead, man.
You were talking earlier about the 28 albums that y'all did in that one year.
Oh, you going back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, you jumped back to Snoop. You didn't finish with that. So tell me about the reason, why was that so significant, other than just the numbers?
Well, it's significant because we had a big meeting, right? All the fucking BMI heads from overseas coming over, and they having this meeting with us about our company, how we doing things, shit like that. And so me and Pierre already came up with it. We like, well, shit, if there was this much for this, if we put this much out within this amount of time, they gonna owe us this much because all this shit gonna do well because we got good music. So we setting up how we gonna release the albums. We doing the covers, putting them in there because we doing everything, man. We did all the artwork. We situated the songs. We picked that which song go first to last. Me and him in the studio doing this shit every day. Every piece of word that's on the album cover, everything. We checking it, making sure it's right, putting the right people in, all that. So we didn't already got our plan together the way we gonna distribute the music and put it out. Nobody else doing it. So the people had this big old meeting, and there's nothing but white folks, man, like fucking 30 of them motherfuckers in there, big old conference table and shit. Me and people at the other end of the table. And they was like, we've been looking at y'all program and what y'all doing. We think you need to only release one album per year, and then you'll have this and this, that, and other. And because it's not done like this in the music industry. We know what y'all do, but y'all not doing it that way. And P looked at him and he stood up and he said, last time I checked, this was my company.
Wow.
Last time I checked, y'all doing distribution. And the problem with y'all think white is right. That's the problem.
Man.
That's it right fucking there. He said, but that ain't about to happen. We're going to do this just the way I got it set up, and that's what's going to happen. And if you don't like it, I will go across the street, because at the time, everybody courting us, right? So everybody want us, across the street, they want us, everybody we right there in L.A.
Right.
So the motherfuckers sending me offers, send through anybody, trying to get us to come over, So at the time, that's going on. So after he got up and said that to him, you're going to do exactly what I said or else. Come on, Boz, let's go. And we got out the door. I just hugged him because it was like a powerful thing.
Right.
Because, like just stand up to all the powers that be and all the conventional thinking that they have and then reinvent it all and turn it on its ear. You know what I'm saying? So after that,
never had no more problem.
no.
Never had no more problem.
But with doing all of this, okay, were you married or had kids, during all this time? Because when I think of it from a woman's perspective, you're talking about you in the studio all the time, you busy all the time. When you find time for her? And was she tripping? Was she be like, man, you gone all the time, why you never home, da-da-da? Because that's what most women are going to do.
Well, I'm not really moved by any of those things. Once I have a focus and I know what I want to do.
Put your mind to it.
Yeah, it's none of that going to affect what I do. Now, I'm not saying things didn't occur like that, but
trying to take.
And she stayed by your side during the whole thing?
That wasn't. We could say that kind of. I think I had it was better for me personally when I was gone more than when I was there. Just because of kind of lifestyle I was living. I always was a guy like that. I've always loved women. I've been around and I've traveled a lot. I've always been open-minded and shit like that.
And she knew that.
Yeah, she knows different things about me like that. So
that's hard.
Yeah, but that was I wasn't tripping on that in any way.
Because most men be talking. Most of the time, I hear the artist or the businessman always be like, "Man, I love this music more than I love anything else out there." Anyway, so.
Well, it ain't about loving the music. It's knowing what you're doing for your life and for your people. And I'm going to be able to help you in other ways that I can't now. You may not understand what's going on, but as you see things progress and all that, where else you going to get enough money to pay this house off and you can
That's
have
right.
it. And you pay this car off and you can have it. And you can put this in your account and it's yours. And, I'm doing things to change the life of you, my son, the generations to come, my other kids, because I had kids outside of that too. So I was like, I'm doing this for all of them, and if you don't understand that, don't understand it. It doesn't matter to me. It's not going to stop me. If you want to leave. What you ever want. You want all this, take it. You know what I mean? So that's what eventually happened.
Let me ask you about when y'all connected with Big Court and he being from down in Kansas City. Like how was that? And just give me a spiel on it. Being he told me his side of it when he was on the show, but I want to know from your perspective how all of it happened.
Court young gangster. He
was on Down South Hustler too.
Yeah. He come up there slinging and banging, from a young kid from coming out of his town, doing it the way they did it, laying it down. And thorough cat, and I met Court through P.
Yeah.
And they had relationships before I knew Court.
Okay.
But once we connected, brother from another mother, highly intelligent brother.
Yeah.
Know a lot of things and open to new things,
Yeah.
Always want to learn, always hungry, always trying to get at it. And I'm so proud of him now that what he has built, far as his site and what he's doing, Holding Court podcast.
Man, love Holding Court, man. Shout out.
Man, he's grown tremendously.
Into film now too. I saw that.
He been in the film. Court,
he did tell us that.
If you check Court history, Court made a movie years ago, independent on his own, spent his own money, kind of like we did with I'm About It.
That's one when Cat Williams was in it, right?
Yes.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. So check him out. He been out there doing that. This is nothing new for him. He been doing these things.
That's hard.
It's just that people haven't been, up on him or knowing about him and what he's done.
Right.
Because he like us, out the street. Got street paws and but start trying to do other things to build another, life for him and his family. And that's what he's doing now. And where he has progressed to and the things that he done, man, it's beautiful.
It is.
Like my brother from another mother, you understand?
Yeah. I seen you, I seen you. I seen the moves, because when I look at No Limit, I look at phases. I look at the Magic and all them. These were phases. Like when you look at those guys in that term, like I remember the Ice Cream Man phase, you know what I'm saying? Then I remember, the phases, Ghetto D and all that. So over the years, man, what did you think about the way everything was moving? Because you was a part of trying to make it go like that. You know what I'm saying? What did you think about it? Were you proud of yourself for all your accomplishments?
Well, at the time, we were just doing things. You know, we young. To tell you the truth, I swear, it was amazing that we could make a record and they could give us this money. This shit was fucking me up. You know what I mean?
I know, because we street.
Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to
it is funny, man, because I trip off of
I'm
that.
serious. I'm hanging out. I'm on the corner. I'm selling dope. Now, we make a
that's crazy,
record,
right?
and they giving us this money, so I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? This shit is amazing.
Go ahead, man. What you say? This is amazing. This is crazy. Like, I can't believe this.
People really paying us. Talk on the fucking crap. Telling me I ain't got to go back.
You gotta go to the streets.
Got to do all this shit. The fuck is going on?
I love it.
Like, this shit is amazing.
They gonna give it, do what?
It's a trick. I'm telling you, the first time we doing shit and he winds up, bam, putting some money in my account or whatever, I'm scared to death. Like,
that was the $1 million hit.
But no, that was like one of the first was like $250 or something.
Oh, okay.
You like, what the hell?
I was like, the fuck, dude, what you doing? You know, I already had a Range Rover shit like that.
Of course.
Right, so I'm going, he like, man, go get rid of that, go get a new one, go do this. I'm like, what the fuck? He put some money in my account. I'm like, the fuck is that, dude, man? You telling me, man, these people gonna come? You know, you're like, no, bro, we got a paper trail. The people paid us for this and that. Like, we making that kind of money? Because I didn't know.
That's hard, though.
You know what I'm saying? I'm playing with $200-300 under the mattress and shit, doing shit with him, you know, getting him whatever. The shit start coming back. So when it's coming back, I'm like, but dude, you can't give me that like this. No, he like, no, dude.
No, it's legal.
Like, we good. Like, I'm like, so it was
trying to figure this out, man.
Yeah, so the first time it happened, I'm fucked up about it. I ain't had a chance to really think that what we was doing and how to be proud. I just was happy. And I like kept up with all the numbers of what we did.
Yeah.
At one time, we owned 12% of the market share in music. All the fucking 12% of all. That's from putting out all those albums.
Really?
Yeah. Putting out all the albums. Every fucking album we put out, damn near went gold or platinum.
Wow. Let me ask you about Callio, man. Like Callio, see, how was it working with him? You know, that's my guy right there.
Super hip. Callio is so talented, man. Genius,
humble.
Musical genius, you know. Putting that shit together that he did and then working at the pace that we did. You got to understand, you put out that many albums a year, we got 5 producers working around the fucking clock. Track after track after track after track. Then we got to manage all the fucking artists, because if they hear a track, this one gonna want it and this one gonna want it. So what me and P would do is we'll listen to all the tracks and we'll see who they fit. Because you know, when you do it enough, it's like, when I was selling coke and shit, I could just scoop an ounce out without measuring it to be to the T. You know, when you fuck with that shit enough, you fuck with it. You know, I could count money. I could just grab a stack. I know
what it is.
Like shit like that. So with music, we doing so much music, I could hear a track and I could hear who voice belong on that.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's when, like when that Here I Go shit came on.
Yeah.
When that track came on, I'm like, nah, I call Mesco. Me and Kia in the studio, he played the track for me. Call Mesco right now.
You knew it.
Call him right now. Where you at? Get you. Got one for you. You know what I'm saying?
Knew you were gonna kill that beat.
Got one for you. When sitting in the car with Gilly, they smoked out, writing and shit, smoked out. Him and Gilly coming up with shit, came back in there, murked that motherfucker. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Wow, man.
Tell me about Charlie Wilson, because have you met him before?
Here we go.
Charlie, my dude. I met Charlie when I was in Oklahoma at the school for avionics, and I was selling dope out there too. That's how I met Charlie. Me and Charlie used to be together damn near every day, you know, because at the time Charlie's addicted, right?
Yeah, of course.
Coke. I'm selling coke, so me and him is like this. He bought my first motorcycle and shit like that. So I'm fucking with Charlie when I'm a kid. I'm 18, 19 years old, sitting up
this
all
Gap
night.
Band Charlie right here.
Sitting up all night. You know what I'm saying? He making music, doing his thing, and I'm sitting right there serving him all night. Bam, I go to bed 7, 8 in the morning.
Wow.
Go to sleep, shit like that. Wake up late in the evening, call me again. Man, where you at? Need to see you. You know, so we got to know each other like that. And then when I called my case, we was fucking around. Then I called my case, bam, and I left. you know, and he didn't know what happened to me. And he still owed me about $2,500.
You sound like me.
Think about that shit.
Charlie, what you say? You gotta come pay up. No,
No,
I'm just messing with you.
It was funny though, because when Snoop brought him back around,
Right.
after we signed Snoop, he comes in with Charlie. So he come in with Charlie to do the song for Mia. So when he come in and I see him, I slide up to him on the cool, and I'm like, "Sing, nigga." He looked at me. I'm like, "What my $2,500 to?"
What he say? He said, "Look."
Just start laughing.
He was spooking because he didn't know, you know, where I was at with it. Right, like where I was at with it. But I'm like, dude, stop fucking tripping. You know, I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm having money. You know,
yeah.
But it was funny, like, to talk about it and, you know, all that shit, you know, and he was, you know, still getting himself together and getting back on and shit. So that was a good time.
I gotta ask you about it, because since we've been down here, Soulja Slim, man, everybody give us a Soulja Slim story of they knew Soulja. Did you know Soulja Slim?
I'm the reason we signed Soulja.
Wow,
yeah.
I want to hear about that.
Well, see,
how that happened?
I'm my ex-wife, who I was married to, my oldest son's mother, was in a family. She was a tap.
Okay.
And all them were taps, and her cousins and all that I told you started the second line group, Lady Buck Jumpers and all that. Yeah. So he was coming home from prison, because Slim was always getting into it, drugging, on the in and out prison shit like that. But talented, super talented, right? So he come home. When he come home, KL telling me about him, this shit and all that, you know what I mean? I'm like, cool, well, let's see what's happening with him. Then he already in the family with the cousins and shit, all of them telling me about him.
Wow.
And so we wound up signing him. He came up and started doing this thing, beating on the table.
That's penetration right there.
Beat on his chest and shit and singing and all that. So we was like, cool, we're going to put out an album on him. And then wind up signing his cousin's Hound and all them too. That was my dudes. That's all his people. So Cutthroat Committee, we start fucking with his people. He started bringing people in. We start fucking with him though. But yeah, that was Slim. You know,
you often hear comparisons. Snoop said, and P was saying, and definitely on that documentary, that he reminded them of Tupac. He was our New Orleans Tupac.
Yeah.
Did you get that sense from? Because I didn't ask you, did you meet Tupac? Because you probably did. Because
no, P actually was on the road with Pac and shit. And
okay, you didn't meet him.
But I didn't know that was before. I would think when he was doing that, I was in jail at the time.
Yeah.
And then I had just come home. Because not too long after I come home, that's when me and P reconnected. We connected before. You know, he was looking for me when I was younger, because, you know, I'm hustling, I'm in town. But I'm flying back and forth, but I got work, I'm coming back home, you know, doing my thing or whatever. So he like, oh, let me find this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You understand? Trying to get on. So I'm fucking with dudes in the neighborhood. My name ringing, whatever. He coming looking for me. But I got knocked off around the time when we went to get hooked up. So when I got home from jail, then me and him reconnected again. He was coming down. He had started the record store. They had did the little thing out there, the first TRU album and shit and all that. And he's like, man, we trying to do this and go to this next level, this, that, and the other. I'm like, all right, well, what we need to do, fuck it, I'm with you. I'm fucking with you, you know, like, I ain't doing shit else. I'm out here hustling. I'm gonna fuck around and get knocked off or something. So fuck it, let's take a shot.
And the shot y'all took, man, were crazy, man. Like I said, you didn't, like I told KO when I interviewed him, like, you didn't hear nothing else when y'all went that year that everybody keep talking, like she keep bringing up about those albums. Like it wasn't nothing else. But even like I say, for me, the Down South Hustlers cassette and all that to do, it was a double cassette. Yeah, it was hard, bro. For me, like those were times, man.
We were one of the first people
to do that.
Put out a double.
Yeah, that's right,
man. We had so many firsts in music and shit that we had done. It was it's just ridiculous, like a lot of the things. And whenever you interview me,
definitely,
any of them other cats, just ask them about me. Just tell them just to tell you whatever they feel about me, whatever they think, or whatever I was to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I like the motherfuckers to understand. Yeah, I've been this person that I am. I'm always gonna be there. I'm always gonna be that. For better, for worse. If I ride with you, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you the long way.
Yeah. How's you and Master P's?
You seem very frank and you seem very frank and upfront and.
I'm honest. I'm to the point. It keeps you from having to be anything other than yourself. It's hard for people to be other shit. And when you start trying to do that, you lose yourself.
How's your Master P's relationship now these days?
Same
as it always been.
Pick up the phone, call him. He pick up the phone,
call you.
Go through
y'all been through life together now.
Yeah, what the fuck else? What we gonna do?
Yeah,
he a real dude.
Yeah.
Like, he honest with me. When I'm fucked up, I do fucked up shit. He tell me, dude, you on one.
I know it was tough when he lost his daughter. And did you know his daughter? You knew his daughter. You know his kids, man.
All their life.
So I seen him, and he was on that documentary, and I was like, dang, man, it had to be tough even to be dealing with, because I kind of.
You got kids, man.
Yeah, I got 4 kids.
Well, you understand. That's all.
I never been through that though.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? But to lose one, I couldn't imagine.
That's what I'm saying. You understand what that would be.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody that have children understand what that would be.
That's why I couldn't believe when I seen him on the show. But life goes on too.
Yeah, it's not that. It's just that the way you process things and deal with things is on you.
That's hard.
Some people stronger than others in different respects. Some people weaker. Some people, been in different things. But all in all, P understands everything about his life. He knows who he is. He know all the people in life he is. He know that he loved and he gave everything he had for his daughter and his children. And that's all he ever did. That's all he ever been doing. Like all the things we did with them in mind. We did it for them, with them, make sure that they was out of harm's way and keeping them safe and trying to protect and provide for our children. And that's just, what a parent does. You
exactly.
know that from being a parent. I mean, that's just all to it,
That's it. It had to be tough. Like I said, I can only imagine. I know for me, when I seen it, it just automatically, you like say, I got kids, so it's like, dang, man, like, and like I said, to be a daughter, I was just talking about Pete losing his daughter, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but like I said, I know already, man, God is the one in control. You know what I'm saying? And we got to learn. We just have to be building for the next generation, no matter what. Yeah. We all got to get out of here one day. That's for sure.
Everybody got enough time in the day.
Everybody, right?
She didn't have any children, did she?
Yeah, she had a daughter.
She had a daughter. So it's like now at that point, to me, now your focus is on that child.
Yeah, well, your focus is always on the children. Our children are, man, you could, like my mom raised me in the church, right? My mom had me go to Catholic school all my life. She invested in my education, and I'm still a full-fledged drug dealer at 12 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that just shows you how it is, and you got to look at it that way. You look at it from your life. Look at your parents and look at what you did. Your parents ain't raised you to go to penitentiary. They ain't raised you to sell drugs and to be out there. But you did it anyway. Right? So
I want to go back to Sharani's wall, because and I'm gonna let you get out of here. That wall over there, she told me about this wall, and people would put the new music on that wall. Did you know about that wall? Everybody know about that wall, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, man.
Was it a good advertisement?
A great advertisement, especially for the city. Sharani was the leading, record seller in New Orleans, always had been. She had already been out there, already been putting shit out and up, and doing things in the community, and perpetuating rap at the time, because it was growing, especially in the South and New Orleans. Like you said, we wasn't getting a lot of notoriety and shit like that.
And people were mad because you cursing on lyrics too, because of Luke.
Yeah.
You remember that?
But that's what the fuck it is. If you don't like it, don't fucking listen to it.
No, I get it, but they was tripping. They was tripping. I remember they was tripping about it.
They always trying to censor us and put us in a box and figure that. Yeah. Okay, well, let's stop them from cursing. Let's stop them. But you making movies. I'm seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger kill 30 motherfuckers in a movie. I just watched Sylvester Stallone kill 50 motherfuckers in a movie.
Yeah.
Blowing people up, shooting their heads off and all that. But that's fine, because all y'all profiting off of that. But when it's an individual that owns his own, especially an African-American individual, black individual, own his own shit, then you got a problem, because why is he doing this? But you're not going after the powers that be that's perpetuating this shit in other fields. You ain't fucking with the porno field, because who owns all of that? Who's more investing in that? The fucking Vatican Church and all that got interest in all that type of shit. Like things that make money, believe me, you'd be surprised who behind it.
I agree with that, but one thing I've always said was, in movies, when movies happen, we always tell our kids that it is not real. It's fake. It's, you know, unless it's based on a true story.
Right.
But when the music industry, rap industry, a rapper is always like, that's my life, that's my reality, that's what I do. So a lot of kids growing up look at it like, I have to be like that if I want to be a rapper.
No.
Compared to when you see things in the movie, that's make believe.
Rap is more telling your story, whatever it is. We told our story because that was our story. That don't mean you have to do that to be that. That just means that this is my story. I ain't telling you. When you do something, you have to be, you know, original to yourself. You have to be true to your story and what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Top 3 artists of all time, dead or alive, any genre.
Any genre. Well, I got it.
Number one.
I'm starting with my dude Nas. I fucks with him.
You like Nas?
Okay.
Yeah, he actually was supposed to be in About It. We met Nas at a concert.
Really?
Yeah.
You had so many people supposed to be in it.
I asked him, but he didn't know who he was. We were in Carolina. We did a big show. People going crazy. He trying to figure out who the fuck is these people? Because he coming on after us, but we got the crowd going cuckoo. So he like, what the fuck? Because you know he don't make that amp type of music. He
Right.
more cerebral, more, you know, political shit like that. And he was on that, you know, and he was like, what the fuck? And so I'm seeing him after the show, and he watching us. I'm seeing him tripping. I'm like, come here, Nas, what's up? I'm Boz. Listen, we about to shoot this movie. I'm About It. I want you to be part of it. You need to fuck with me. He'll take my number, come down. I'm gonna fly you down, take care of you, everything. Don't worry about nothing. And he was like kind of skeptical because he's seeing how rowdy we are and all the crazy shit.
Yeah. He's like, do I really want to be? Yeah.
So he's, you know, and he was skeptical. I don't blame him. I probably would have been too. You know, he never met us before or nothing. So he like, what the fuck? But he remembered because years later I was living in Miami, me and him, and we would take our kids to the same amusement park and shit and play and all that. So we start jibbing and talking. I said, man, you should have been in the movie. He's like, yeah, that's when they made Belly and all that.
Yeah.
And if you look at Belly, you'll see similarities to that. To
Really?
we did. Check it out. Check it out and look at them About It.
Because Belly came after y'all.
Right.
That's hard, man. That's
So who's
hard.
your number 2?
Shit is hard to quantify it all. I'm probably gonna say P.
That's a P.
Yeah, I'm gonna say P. For me, personally, if you asking me,
Yeah,
like,
why P? You know, you got.
No, we already know why.
No, I want to hear his
Not-
explanation on it.
not really, but because of the personal connection and the authenticity of it all. Like, it was real. Like, everything about it, everything we talked about, we were fucking right there doing it. And it was like telling our stories. So for me, it's gonna always be that. You know, like it's gonna always be that because of the realness of it and the shit that we did. And if you listen to our music, it always promoted ownership, blackness.
Yeah.
Take your dirty money, turn it to good money. Take your all the shit you doing, make it into something else. What we represent is this. We not just representing music. We representing business. We representing people living on another black excellence. You know, learning the game from the inside out, not letting them control you. You know, controlling them. You know,
I always
shit
wondered
like
why
that.
more kids never did that, like people in the streets, why they never, because I always say, if you can run an organization on the street or run this, even a few people on the street, you can turn that and run a legitimate business and you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, but people refuse to do that.
That's right.
It's a rush, though.
Yeah, it is, but then you got to educate yourself on other things too, and
Correct.
that's what we did. Like this creditguard.com. We got a thing called thecreditguard.com that P and my partner Callio Smith put together.
Okay.
So with that program we put together, and you go to that site, look at it, we helping people learn about credit, how to put it together, what you need to do to be successful, how to set up business credit, the things that you need to do to perpetuate yourself. And earlier I'm talking to Slim Son about it, trying to put him up on game and show him how to put himself in a different atmosphere, you know, and take it to another level. You know what I mean? So, you know, just check out that thecreditguard.com.
Thecreditguard.com.
They do.
Number 3, right?
And then
Number 3.
number 3 gonna have to be SNO.
Snoop, you like that boy Snoop got you. Man, what is it about this guy that keeps him just so prevalent, bro?
true because all of his shit was where he was coming from, and that was his true story, and that was his truth he was living in, and like the shit that he was doing and perpetuating and rapping about and shit was all groundbreaking. This was new, you know. This was what LA was, and this is his view of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then his delivery and
the
shit,
delivery,
you know
that
what
one
I'm
they
saying?
sell on Undercover Cop.
Oh my God!
Listen, man,
You
with
see that
Dr.
deep
Dre,
cover? That deep cover.
Like it's still like from there to now. Snoop can come and his voice got this. His tonality is totally different than everybody else's.
Anybody hears his voice, they know
Check
that
exactly
nigga voice
who it
is different, man.
Check out him and Soulja Slim when he first came to No Limit. Him and Soulja Slim did a song called "At the Same Time."
Man,
Me and
Have you heard
Snoop
it?
hit No Limit
I've
at
heard
the
it.
same time. Say when I tell you they got off on that motherfucker. Say when they got off on that motherfucker, because when we got him, Snoop came right around at the same time, and so they made a song about it at the same time. And them motherfuckers cut up on that bitch. Him and Snoop got down. Snoop fuck with, and Snoop loved Soulja Slim. You know,
Loved him.
man. That was his dude. Like they fucked around. You know what I mean?
man.
Like, all us, you know, Snoop to say it was the way he came down, he embraced it because he seen how real it was. Plus, he had been messed over for most of his career. All the records he sold and shit, he didn't have the money to represent it. And so we bought him down. Pete bought him a house in the country club. Paid for it, put it in his name.
Man.
You know, turn around, give him cars, whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
You know, put 2 guns on the table. But you know that wasn't Snoop. So he was like, all right. So he let us handle all that.
Yeah,
It was cool. But then that's when we made fuck them other niggas. You know, with C, and then him and C was real cool and like, yeah. All right, now we gonna put y'all on notice. He fuck with us, this is it. You fuck with him, he fucking with us. So this what it is. Now this is a statement for the world to know. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can say all that shit if y'all want to play.
They're real.
Yeah.
That's real.
So I got a question.
I'm gonna talk about C
I don't
though.
know. Hold on. I don't know if y'all already talked about this, but how did P get his record deal with?
No, he didn't.
Okay, with Priority Records.
Huh?
With Priority Records.
What about it?
How did he get that deal?
Oh, well, there was a dude called Dave. Dave had been watching us, checking. So at the time, we independently selling the music, dropping it off to mom and pop stores, all in the Bay, all in LA, in Texas, everywhere, right? So they got a report that they do, and they check all the stores to see who's selling.
Yeah.
We fuck around was #1 in all the motherfuckers, right? We moving 250, 200,000, 250,000 units on our own, just dropping shit off.
Yeah.
And you know they beating us. Some people
Now they get down.
they paying us, but then they printing up more and they selling, you know, theirs and ours and shit like that. So, you know, but it's cool because it's, you know, it's part of the game.
Marketing.
We go there. See, this is when we knew we had made it, man. We went to New York one time and the dude was in New York selling CDs, bootlegging. And our shit was in there. I couldn't fucking, but because you know New York's so secular.
Yeah, that's right.
They won't sell nothing but their music.
That's right.
Man, they fucking selling our shit.
Wow, man, that's hard, man.
We went in the hood, niggas bumping our shit and Jeeps and shit. I was like, the fuck is going on? It's New York. You know, that's when Flex had us up there and shit like that. So we doing shit like this, and Dave notices us. We making the buzz and shit. So he's coming down. He's like, dude, I talked to my company at Priority, big company. They could distribute y'all shit. You know, we want to do a deal with you guys. Whoop. So they called it and shit. So P fuck around and fuck with him. You know,
That's hard.
And back then when he got that deal, was that the time when he gave you the largest deposit that you had received from him at that time?
Yeah, after that deal.
After that deal. He just said, you know what, here, this is a part of that, so.
Yeah. So we getting, you know, we starting to get it back because we had to put out a lot. You know, in the beginning, we were just spending, you know, me, him, whoever here. Nigga, whatever I got, I'm just giving it to him.
I like that because it's a teamwork, it's a team effort.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how it is. You need a good partner, you know, just like y'all.
Yeah.
You know, you need a good partner. You need either woman, man, whatever, but you need somebody that's on the same page with you, that's a partner that can do business with you, that got a like mind and could stop you from making bad decisions or question you. It's hard when you the leader and you don't respect nobody around you because now if you about to do something wrong, nobody ain't gonna stop you and check you. You know what I mean? He didn't stop me and check me about doing shit, and I didn't, you know, stop them and checked him. You know?
I love that because nowadays you have too many people have too many yes men in their life. See you doing something wrong and be like, no, you good. You know, they're scared to stand up and say, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
Man, I thought C Murder was hard. I want to go back to that before I let you go off here. Like, how was it working with C Murder on those the tracks and just
extremely talented cat, man. Just raw. You know, C shit just was raw. You listen to his music, you hear it in it. Man.
Yeah.
He just raw. He was, you know, into that street shit, real tough.
Yeah.
You know, and he translated it well into music, and you know, it just that the people that he was around and he surrounded himself with, I think more of anything was the problem. Like just the people around him. You know what I mean? Like, you know, trying to do your own thing and, you know, be your own boss and all that is fine, but you got to look at the people you surround yourself with. You know, sometimes, you know, you want to be true to the people that was around you or that you feel like is real dudes in the street, but then, you know, they looking at you a different way. You know, because you done made it. Like you said before, like when you get money, sometimes the people change. It ain't you. It's the people around you change, you know. And then if you in a position where you got the most and everybody else got less, they ain't got nothing to lose and you got everything to lose. That's a bad position to ever put yourself in. Man. Never put yourself in a position where you got more to lose than everybody else around you, because if you do that, you're destined to fall.
But don't you know, I'm thinking about you as you talking and all the stuff that then transpired around from the Max and all the stuff that P had to see and endure. But you were like a guy who had been through stuff already because you was older. That had to be soothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you've been through so much.
Well, and then like for me, I only hung with older guys. Like when I was in the pen, I was with the 50s and the 60s.
That's real.
Dudes. Like them dudes, the young dudes, I didn't fuck with them. I might play sports with them and shit like that. But when it came down to it, I ain't hang out with them and nothing. I'm reading books. They got a dude named Edgar Dillon. Called him Duke. He lived with me. He was with me after he got out of prison and everything. That's my dude, like my mentor. Like he taught me a lot, made me read the right things, and you know, kind of molded my mind and gave me an understanding of what life is. You know, beyond money and shit like that. You know, just at who we are as a people, being able to relate to who you are, what you stand for, and be proud of who you are, and don't let them do these things to you. You know, stand up, be a man. Don't be scared to ask for what's yours or tell somebody what's yours, because if it is, it is. You know, and don't ever be afraid to stand on that.
Wow.
So that was a big part of the shit too, what we was doing, because I took all those teachings that I got from them, because we stand on the shoulders of giants, you know, the shoulders of giants, because these guys that was our predecessors that we learned from gave us that. That's why I was saying now, I think it's time to start talking about more about what's going on with these youngsters and what they doing for us.
Yeah.
All this snitching and backbiting and trying to set your boy up and all that shit, instead of trying to build together and learn together and grow together, no matter what it is. I don't care whether you're in the street hustling or you doing business. You're supposed to do that a certain way. You got to have a certain set of rules, or you're going to destroy the entity and the venue in which you can create money.
Wow.
You killing the game. Like, you killing the game. I'm talking about they done shot the game in the head 32 times. Man. You know, and I don't know whether it's because we didn't teach them as much, or if they just a selfish generation, or if it could be more of anything, but like I say, I always look inward. I look toward me. And if it's going on bad, I look toward what's my responsibility in this, and how can I help to stop this from happening and stop perpetuating the bullshit and come back with the real things that could last.
But they don't listen.
Let me say
they
this though.
Listen.
But you did a lot more than a lot of people, because of the way that you guys paved the way when it comes to entrepreneurship in hip hop. To be honest with you, especially for cats in the South, when you look at all these young brothers, it's a lot of them that's entrepreneurs that are making it, and so you got just two sides of the coin. Is the way I be seeing it. Like thinking about you and what I'm seeing here today, I just think about the stuff that you influence and the people that you talked about and the people that seen you, that respect you and was able to elevate because of you. You feel me?
Right.
Because that's a part too.
It is. It is why I told you, whenever you interviewing everybody, ask them about me. Ask them what they thought about me at that time when we was doing all that, and who I was to them. From Mac to Fiend to fucking whoever. Me, all of them. Because I treated everybody like a family, and I think that's what it was. You know, like we were all like close. and it was all more family, and it was more like I'm standing on mine, because I come out the street hustling, like with me cousins and all that, like, that was my thing. That's what I was known for. I mean, that's what it was. That's what helped me to get what I needed to get where I was trying to go. So all of those type of things, and with them, I think, that give people a better understanding, and that's why I say I want to start this website and start doing these things to try to help people that's coming from prison, and because nobody.
I think it's a good. It's gonna
nobody thinks about those people. Like they done gave up on that. Like but they me. Like if I see somebody in the street, on the corner, on the ground, that's my people.
That's your people and my
that's
people too.
Me. I don't look down on that.
You can't.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, damn, I wonder what happened in his life that had him get that way. Baby, if he knew this or that, or I had said this or that, I could have helped influence him in a different way to make a different decision. Maybe not, but hey, at least I would have put it out there and tried. And that's the thing now. So everything I'm doing now is about trying to help and try to bring my people to another understanding and give them another look at it and teach them the right way to do shit now. It's just like the knowledge they don't have. They're not acquiring the knowledge.
Yeah,
so what I'm doing is I'm taking all knowledge from every field that I personally are winning at. The things that I'm winning at, the shit I'm winning at doing, and I'm putting that in one package, and I'm going to have it there for them to be able to see and draw from.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know shit, and they ask me, well, how you do this and how you do that. I'm going to put all that right there. It's going to be a how-to. You can ask you how-to, bam, that's it.
I want to ask you about just one more thing. What city showed y'all the most love when it comes to outside of New Orleans?
I would have to say Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta?
Yeah, because
Atlanta showed big love.
Well, that's because when we were there, we sold more. I was looking. See, I'm a numbers dude.
Of course.
I was looking at the numbers we were selling in the regions. But Georgia, shit, man.
They loved you. They loved it.
Georgia, shit, man. We sell a show Houston, Georgia, shit, everywhere. But those sold the most units. Where we moved the most units at was there.
Yeah,
man, definitely.
Man, thank you so much, man. BOZ, man, I found myself a new friend. I'm definitely. You ain't got to keep. I'm gonna ask them about you anyway when they come talk to me, because it's a part of it's the culture, the legacy, man.
Right.
So it gotta be put down right.
Like how can you mention New Orleans and not mention Big BOZ?
Hey, man, that's it right there, man.
It's my city, man.
And I gotta ask you this, and it may sound crazy, but for Cash Money and No Limit to come up, did you ever see that big in New Orleans like they did? When you think of this, that's what you think of.
No, but I saw them coming because they were following us. I mean,
of course.
And this I'm not saying nothing bad about them or nothing. I'm just saying that they watched us and they emulated us. And they did their albums like us. They asked us. I remember me and P was at Penning Pixel, and they knew we went to Penning Pixel, so they came there. They was in there, Baby and Slim. They're like, man, we sorry. Can we use the same people? Is it okay if we want to make our albums like yours? Because what they did
that's respect, though, to show and ask that.
Right, but it was no problem. Like, yeah, dude, do whatever y'all got to do. Get yourself together.
That's hard.
Because we had made it before they did, but they saw what we did, so they just started following the blueprint.
The blueprint.
They made the albums like ours. A lot of people didn't know the difference. When they saw the Juvenile album and all, they thought it was us.
Wow.
Because of the way it looked. The
yeah.
graphics and all the shit.
I remember that,
because we started doing them graphics. Chris Rock called us, and Chris Rock put out an album using the same people we did.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, the shit was so big, man. You
had eyes on y'all from everywhere.
Everywhere, man.
So you kind of...
Sports agencies, man, I was running around shooting dice with Shaq and Sam Cassell, and man, there's so many people that I'm connected to that are cool and that fuck with me, but I just don't. I just keep it like that.
That's hard. That's hard, though.
Is there anybody, out of all the people, out of all the celebrities that you've ever met, that because as I call us regular people, looking at these celebrities, you get a perception of how that person is going to be in reality. But then sometimes when you meet these people, they're not who you think they might be. Mm-hmm. Have you ever met somebody that did not measure up to the person you think they were going to be?
Or maybe over-measured.
Or over-measured,
either way.
I really can't. I don't know.
Because you take it to a positive. I look at it like, okay, if I met somebody, like we have met those people, it was like, I never thought it'd been like that. But then we have met people like when we met Steve Madden, just a person that randomly walked up to us and started befriending us. And they've been that way for over 10, 15 years now. Yeah. So you just never know the type of person. I didn't know who he was when he was talking to me until people started talking to him. So at the end of the day, I'd have never thought I'd have knew this guy. Right. I'd have never thought we'd have ever had no type of relationship, and it just come from me and you walking in the mall and didn't even know who the hell that was.
I can say that it's been people, or maybe somebody. I would have to say Oliver Stone.
Okay.
First time I met Oliver Stone, he was just fucking going hard out of his mind with all kind of shit, and I'm like, I'm thinking about like being a movie maker, a filmmaker, producer, and all of that shit, like. He gonna be this straight-laced dude, but he was so fucking different than what I would have thought for. He drinking, smoking, and talking, and fucking all kind of shit all at one time, and I was like, man, this dude is wild. We was in Miami. Me and P auditioned for Any Given Sunday. We went down and did that back in the day. Yeah.
But y'all didn't end up in the show.
No, we didn't wind up being in there. I think goddamn Oliver might have got. I was talking shit to Oliver.
You might have upset him, huh?
Yeah, I might have. What the fuck? You keep asking me this. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
I get it.
Yeah, because he was going so hard and so amped, and he fucked up. He asked me, where you get this from? I said, what the fuck I look like? Yeah, what the fuck is you asking me this for?
Yeah.
He started getting to the point, I don't care like who you are or whatever it is. I'm just talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's when the shit was.
Big Boz, if you could go back and change anything throughout the whole, from No Limit to you growing up as a young kid, going to different situations, would there be anything that you would change?
Probably not.
You leave it all the same and run it all the same way?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be the person he is today.
That's all. It's a sum. You got to. I told you earlier, nothing in my life is bad. Nothing.
Yeah, he said that.
Nothing. Getting shot at, all kind of shit. You can shoot it. Nothing. All that's like a part of what made me who I am and made me understand things and made me be the dude I am and everything. And the way I turned out cool for me, I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying?
And pass on all that knowledge to all these younger kids so they know exactly what to expect.
Yeah, well, they just got to want out of everything. If I had one message, I could tell them to want to be better, to want to live a different life than hustling or scamming, doing something illegal that you putting your life on the line, because you can live just as well or better doing legitimate things if you set your life up for that, and you can do it. It's easier than scamming and selling drugs.
That's right.
And just think, the reason we were so good at what we did, because we was hustlers. See, when you come out the street hustling, scamming, selling drugs and all that shit, your mind different. So now you gonna run circles. If you get into a legitimate world, you gonna be able to whoop them, because you gonna see angles they don't see, and you ain't gotta do nothing wrong, but you gonna play it deeper than they gonna play it. Because for me, once I know I ain't had to risk my life getting killed or selling dope, everything else was easy.
Yeah.
They put me in a company and say all you gotta do is do that. The worst thing that happened to me is that the record don't sell good. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, the circumstances they're not as dire. So once then you operating with a lot less pressure on you. Now you ain't got that pressure, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I keep telling them, go to DougCreditGuard.com, figure that out. They got all the answers for credit and all that shit there. When I set up my site and put it all up for everybody, I'm gonna attribute it, and I'm gonna aspire to going to helping people coming from jail, helping people, because that's what we got to do now.
Right.
It's up for us as the leaders and the guys that made it and changed our lives to show them this is what you could do now. Now you could do this.
This is my last question.
He said that three questions.
This is my damn last question, man. Right. This is it right here, man. I ain't playing with y'all. I got to get out of here, man. He got to get out of here. But I just want to ask you about, we hear paperwork party. We've been talking about that the whole time, that people been coming from feds and all that. I know you go way back.
Yes, sir.
Like, is that a real thing?
What?
The paperwork party. When you go, if you snitch and they watch your paperwork and look at it to see if you able to be a person that they would even hang with when you come into the feds.
or if you got to leave?
Well, I don't know. This is what happens. This what happened. I was in, and like all my partners that then got out in the last 10 years, 8 years ago, because I know a lot of them. Right?
Yeah.
So I fuck with a lot of them. I've helped a lot of them change their lives.
That's hard, man.
Dude here named Corey Jalou, you know,
okay.
Man, done everything under the world. Been shot up, killed, all kind of shit went on. But now, don't want to do no wrong.
Don't do no. Ain't that hard?
Got his life
hard,
together.
Man.
He's in real estate, and I'm so proud of him. He just built his first double. From using all these steps that I'm telling him about.
Man.
Everything that we got.
How long did it take him?
Take him a year and a half.
Get out of here.
Year and a half.
A year and a half.
Got over 400 and something thousand from the bank.
Woo.
Wow.
Let them finance it. Put it together. Done. Finished. It's beautiful. Did a great job. Got 2 or 3 more lots. He about to start doing those over and over again, man. And like those are the kind of things and that's the kind of stories.
What they say about this paperwork party?
Now on the paperwork party, what happens is when you in joint and the other dude in there, they say, all right, let me see your paperwork. You know, like, okay, well, you can fuck with us, but what's happening? You know, where your paperwork at? You know, niggas don't know what's up with you. You know what I'm saying? And dude got to go get the indictment, throw it on the table. You know, and everybody read it and see what it say. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard.
Yeah.
See, I didn't ask the right.
Well, yeah, because I don't, you know, like we don't know you or know what's happening with you. So what's happening?
Man.
Where your paperwork at? We know you got it, because everybody have a copy of their paperwork.
And even from what I understand, they look at the paperwork, but they also make their calls and get the street report too on that person.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, there's because a lot of times people know people, but a lot of times when you're in a federal penitentiary, like me, I was in the FDC. So I'm in the FDC. They got people from Africa, LA, man, you name it. Jamaica. Mm-hmm. They had as a federal detention center. So I got everybody passing through, everybody, all kind of nationalities and everything. So some people you know, some people you don't know. Some people you'll know about, some people you won't know about. But when you get that paperwork, when they throw that motherfucker on the table, you know.
You know what it is. You know if it, you know.
You can read. It's gonna tell you who's in there. So what they saying. Wait a minute.
When they read, if they were reading yours, they'd have seen Freeway Ricky Ross. So
they would have saw it. They would have saw it. And I'm not saying that to say dude was fucked up or he did.
You just couldn't understand why it was in there.
I don't know, but it was there. Now, it could have been that he was doing that, or it could have been they
trying to throw something in there.
But I tell you the honest to God truth, never met him before in my life. Wow. Don't know him.
That's hard,
you
man.
know, and wish him the best. You know, I ain't. But this is just this is really what happened.
That's your life.
So why I can't not tell my fucking truth?
It's your story.
Shit.
Yeah,
so it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. I know you don't usually normally come out and do interview, but you did a great job.
Yeah.
Man, I love it, man. God, let me meet somebody else that look like me.
Yes,
that
sir.
got a hell of a story.
Yes, sir.
That meeting the right thing for the youngsters and our people. Mm-hmm. You keep talking about that because that's where your heart at.
That's
you know what I mean?
Power to the people, man.
Man,
power
you remember that time when people used to be so caught up on that part?
Man, power
it was
to
green,
the
red. What was it?
Let me tell you
flag.
something else before I go. Everybody, read your Constitution.
Man,
know your Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. Know what you are in this world. Know where you stand. Know what you are. Know what you come from. Know what kind of country you in. Where it started. Study the origin of it. Learn about your life and
knowledge is power
and your rights. You got to know your rights. Angelina Jolie, I respected that about her. If you look on her shoulder, she got a tattoo. It say know your rights.
That's hard.
That shit was super hard. I saw it, but I was like, damn, that was powerful. You know, and that's what we need to know now. We need to know who we are, where we from. What country we living in, what does that mean? You know, how to do this, how to get out of this, how to get into that. What am I really facing? Who are these people? You know, research them, find out, know about who the fucking Internal Revenue is, who the government is. What does this mean? You know, what does it mean and who you are and what you need to know about yourself and where you live and how to operate in it. Man. Once you do that, you can definitely be better, and you're going to perpetuate, you're going to grow, you're going to learn, and you're going to go further because you know the game you in. The problem with most people now, they don't even know the game they in. They in the game, but they like in the matrix because they think it's one thing, but it's actually something else. Mm-hmm. And they keep you thinking it's one thing, but it's definitely something else.
Wow.
you know, and that's what power is. Power is knowing your circumstances, knowing where you at, knowing what you need to get where you're trying to go, and knowing what you can do and what you can't do.
Wow.
You know.
Thank you so much, Big BOZ, man. Appreciate it, man. We love you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Sir, without a doubt.
I ain't gonna never forget you. And every time if I'm in New Orleans, if I'm in LA, because I know you be going moving around.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Atlanta, wherever. I'll be like, well, is Big BOZ down here?
I make my move.
I bet you do, man.
Yeah.
God is so good, man.
Yes,
Thank you so much, man.
Sir.
It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
And we
big up for Boss Talk Radio. You understand me?
Yes, sir.